This is an audiobook created by Relay Publishing, who own exclusive copyright to the story in all territories and formats. For more information, please go to our website, www.relaypub.com. We hope you enjoy.
Chapter 30. James. I tried not to stare at my phone as the night ticked by. I knew the package had been delivered and that she'd signed for it. I assumed she'd read the letter by now. Still no response. Yeah, my gift to her was an odd one, but I knew Natalie well enough to understand that there was a chance it would help me reach her. If it didn't, well, I wasn't sure how I was going to move forward without her in my life, but I'd find a way. Whatever her choice was, I'd respect it, no matter how much it hurt. I poured myself a drink, but wound up swirling the ice in the glass instead of sipping it. Alcohol wasn't going to do me any favors, given my state of mind. Then, finally, the sweetest sound. Banging on my front door, as loud as a SWAT team. My entire body shifted into readiness, tense with anticipation and ready to find out if Natalie was back for good. I flung open the door. And there she was, looking like she'd thrown on sneakers and a coat without even bothering to brush her hair. Flawless, as always. "You," she said in a strained voice, red-faced and splotchy but never more beautiful. "This." She held up the letter. I nodded, my heart pounding. Did you like it? The suitcase?" Natalie didn't answer. She launched herself into my arm and buried her face in my neck. It was wonderful and terrible at the same time. I eased my grip around her waist. Hold on. How was it terrible? She slid down my body and gazed up at me. "Can I at least come in to talk about it?" I moved out of the way, feeling awkward and nervous as fuck. The letter was supposed to fix everything. What had I done wrong? Yes, of course, I said, hiding my concern. Natalie moved past me, and it took all of my self-control to not pull her into my arms again. She was here. That was a start. We sat down in chairs opposite one another, and for the first time I cursed all the space in the room. But it was probably better that she wasn't near me. I didn't want to accidentally catch a hint of her scent. That would make it so much harder to keep my hands to myself. "Thank you for the gift," Natalie began. "It was unexpected. An odd choice, I know." "No." She shook her head. "I loved it. It was perfect." We shifted to silence as I waited for her to continue. "But James, you can't leave Branson Designs," she finally blurted out. "You can't. You might think you're just some obscure leadership concept that anyone can slot into, but that's not true. You are Branson. If you step down, well, who knows what's going to happen. But my gut tells me it would be a disaster, right when the company has started to get back on track again." I moved to the edge of my chair in an attempt to get closer to her. "But I want you to know how serious I am about putting you first. And you don't think it's possible if I'm still the CEO." Her expression turned stormy. "I never said that. Don't you dare pin that on me, James. I said that you've always put the company first. And by stepping down that'll no longer happen," I offered, feeling confused. She heaved a sigh. "Haven't you ever heard of moderation? You can lead the company but find ways to divide your time so that work doesn't fill up 90% of it. You can start by hiring a replacement for Clint that you actually trust." "Well, from what I've heard, you're doing an incredible job." She shook her head again. "No, it's been a struggle for me, because it's not what makes me happy. And I know that you stepping down wouldn't make you happy either, despite what you're saying." I scrubbed my hands over my face because she was right. As much as I wanted Natalie, I still felt an almost gravitational pull leading the company that was a part of my bloodline. I hadn't really let myself consider what it would feel like to leave and watch someone else run our family business. "James, what I'm saying is, you can have both." I felt a flicker of hope. "But..." She held her hand up to silence me, a move I wouldn't tolerate from anyone else. "Things would have to change. Not just with Clint's position. You'd need to be better about delegating. Stop taking work home with you and answering emails at 2 in the morning." I bit back a grin. Only if you give me something better to do in the middle of the night. Stop, she commanded, scowling at me. I'm being serious. Sorry, I'm sorry, I responded quickly, amazed at how this spitfire of a woman could shut me down. You're right. Please continue. All I'm saying is, I think it's possible to find a balance, but only if you really want it. And well, if you want me. She said it quietly, like she didn't fully believe that it was even an option, despite the many ways I'd already told her. I couldn't resist it any longer, so I reached over to take her hand in mine. Natalie, I want you more than anything. If scaling back at Branson is the way to get you back, then I'll do it. All I need is a second chance. Let me show you how much you mean to me. Her serious expression crumbled, and her pretty mouth trembled. Do you mean it? I finally pulled her to me and into my lap, and she snuggled against me. I do. More than you know. I've missed you so much. I smoothed her hair back and kissed her forehead gently. Natalie sniffled against my chest. I've missed you too. I didn't even dream that we'd make it here. I had to find a way to get through to you, to show you that you're my everything. She leaned back and looked up at me, her eyes shining with tears. I love you, James. So much. I'd always known in my heart that she felt it too, but to hear her finally say it sparked my entire body back to life. Relief, warm and sweet, spread through me. I love you. I love you. I love you, I murmured as I dropped my mouth to hers. How was it possible that each kiss with her was better than the last? It had been way too long since I kissed my beautiful girl, and the twin urges to consume her and savor her started warring inside of me. I want you, she whispered as our lips connected. Say no more. I smiled as I stood up. I gathered her in my arms and carried her to my room, never once breaking apart from her. Her hand snaked up the back of my neck to play with my hair, and I felt myself growing even harder. I placed her on the bed, and she looked up at me, her eyes wide. Can we just kiss for a little bit? She breathed. I want to enjoy every second of being with you again. I chuckled. We have all night. She frowned for an instant. I mean, we have forever. She circled her arms around me and pulled me down on top of her, as we both seemed to realize that this was the beginning of our life together.
This was an audiobook created by Relay Publishing, who own exclusive copyright to the story in all territories and formats. For more information, please go to our website, www.relaypub.com. We hope you enjoyed.